Good evening, friends. We are on day 12 of Brand 10,000 W Combinator 100 Days to Leadership Transformation series. On behalf of GCPIT, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this wonderful evening. I'm Aparna G. Kumar, the Global Co-Chairperson of GCPIT, that is a Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, a not-for-profit registered in India and South Africa. The mission of GCPIT is to handhold, empower, and support SMEs globally. Many asking us how to join GCPIT and also how to get connected with us after seeing our sessions. If you would like to join us as a leader, or if you wish to get supported and handholded by us in your business growth and business transformation, please email us at contact@gcpit.org. We had great speakers and great topics in the last few days, and we saw that all of them were great communicators. We all know that communication is key to our success in relationships, in our workplace, as a citizen of a country, and all through our lifetime. Communicate effectively is one of the most important life skills. Those with good interpersonal skills are strong verbal and non-verbal communicators and are often considered to be good with people. Still, we work on improving this most important skill of ours, and many of us find it very difficult to communicate with even the people in our own homes. And what about business communication? We all know that effective business communication is essential for the success and growth of every organization. Unlike everyday communications, business communication should always be goal-oriented, but many of the times we fail to communicate our goals with our team. How important is communication in business? Let us listen to our speaker today, who is going to talk on the right pitch in communication accelerates business growth. Have with us Ms. Anindita Mukherjee Sinha, who is the head of corporate communications, L&T Metro Rail Hyderabad Limited. Anindita Sinha, with a professional experience of more than 3 decades, she is fortunate to have enjoyed both the fields of operations and communication, working with public sector undertaking, Airports Authority of India, and global conglomerates like GVK Group, Mumbai International Airport Limited, GMR Group, GMR Hyderabad International Airport Limited, and she is currently working with L&T Group, L&T Metro Rail Hyderabad Limited. She excels in integrated communication, reputation management, and strategy formulation for all verticals under corporate communication. The every function which she loves and respects for its dynamism, demand to be alert 24/7, keeping the learning window open, and the excitement involved with the newness of each job undertaken. She has a proven track record as an effective crisis communicator, spokesperson for the companies she worked, brought several accolades, and built and sustained a positive image for her organizations, leading the corporate communication department, and also has been an impactful writer for internal and external communication, blending art and science. She always believes in working as a team player, then a team leader, and focuses on her team's all-round development to be smart professionals. For her, right attitude is all that it counts to be successful as an individual and a career. And in the a movie buff and a wanderlust, finds ultimate peace, happiness, and leisure spending time with her family, cooking, dancing, reading, by contributing towards animal rescue and welfare and other social causes. For her, empowerment means I have the power within, which is mostly untapped by self, and believes education, safety, financial security, and consciousness can significantly instill empowerment in individuals. Let me proudly present before you Ms. Anindita Mukherjee Sinha. Over to you, Anindita. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an honor to talk to you all the time.
Thank you so much, Aparna. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak on my favorite subject, that is communication. And yes, as you said, that communication is that dynamic and 24/7 full of excitement field, which if we tap properly, we gain the best out of it. And if we, by chance, if you don't know the trick of the trade and we go wrong, then, the deal can be broken. So it's a make a deal or break a deal. It depends on the art of communication. Well, the art of communication is the language of leadership. It is a very famous saying. And leadership establishes and carries a brand forward and the business forward. So once we have seen that effective good speakers they become very effective leaders. So it is only through mastering the art of communication, which is the art of convincing, I also say, that you can take your business forward. And well, we cannot really say that there is a tangible growth that you can measure, that if the communication is good vis-a-vis your your top line and things are growing, your EBITDA is growing. No, not that way. But there definitely, it has been proven there is an intangible and a very strong intangible connection with good communication, good interpersonal skills in the organization, which grows very fast and well. Well, communication, as I always say, is a blend of art and science, creativity and strategy. If you just communicate, you can get by. But if you communicate skillfully, you can work miracles. And that is what we look at, working miracles. Art, why we say it's a blend of art and science? Art is the expression or application of one's creative skill and imagination. Science, as we know, is the intellectual and practical activity covering the systematic study of a subject. So, communication is a subject that encompasses both this art and science for, I can say, resourceful, inventive, and methodical conclusion. So, basically, if we strike a balance between the creativity part of it, which is the art, and the strategy and the skills of it, which is a science, we can say that communication definitely can give you success or move you towards success. So the ability to communicate with people, with both inside and outside the organization, is a key characteristic of successful business builders. So we know that we have different stakeholders in any
Nikki,
organization,
Swati, Punu have.
International and external stakeholder. So communication is very, very important for all of them, whether it's external or internal. It is very important because when we talk of internal, they are your brand ambassadors, who can be the reputation custodian for the company. And external stakeholders, it can be public at large, it can be your vendors, your agencies, or government, whoever you deal with. So that is the ability to communicate with people both inside and outside. And effective communication strengthens the connection, I would say, between a company and all the stakeholders, and this benefits the business in numerous ways. How? Stronger decision making and faster problem solving. Earlier warning of potential problem, because see, the first and foremost thing of communication is you have to be crisis ready with your communication manual. And it is generally it's created for all organization. Yes, at time of crisis it is customized for sure, but the manual is kept always ready for easy business continuity. So stronger decision making and faster problem solving. Then earlier warning of potential problems, increased productivity and steady workflow. Stronger business relationships, clearer and more persuasive marketing messages. I'll come elaborate them little later. These enhance professional images for both employers and companies, lower employee turnover and higher employee satisfaction, and better financial result and higher return of return for the investors. So this is how broadly we say. Now, organizational communication. So whether it's corporate communication we say, or organization communication, any communication which goes out from the company, from the management, intra and inter are organizational communication, which definitely triggers your business growth if it is done in a very methodical way. So organizational communication is a set of activities, we can say, involved in managing and orchestrating all internal and external communication, which is aimed at creating a favorable viewpoint among all the stakeholders, as we say, external and internal, on which the company depends to prosper and grow as a credible brand. See, as the employees need a company, the company needs the stakeholders. Otherwise, without the stakeholders, it cannot run. So if the communication process is healthy, definitely it accelerates the business growth. So when communication is delivered effectively, it increases employee satisfaction. when we are talking about the internal part. Customer retention and improves the company's public image. Right pitched communication. Here comes how to pitch, how, where, and when is the three golden words. So right pitched communication helps in promoting the motivation in a team within an organization. It is as simple as that. Well motivated employees tend to be more productive in any organizations. We have seen that productive, keeping the employees productively engaged is one of the core functions of HR and at times communication also. So any organization investing on its employee can make them the brand ambassadors and each one of them the reputation custodian. That is the beauty of it. So well motivated employees and well productively engaged employees can take your business forward. It is crucial to communicate effectively, especially during the negotiations, to ensure you achieve your goals, your targets, you meet your targets. Communication is also important within the business. Effective communication which help to foster a good working relation between you and your staff. When I say you, is the management, which can in turn improve its morale and efficiency, because the more people are positively engaged, the productivity goes, because you have happy employees there. So it's a happy office, happy culture, happy organization, and happy on the balance sheet, a happy balance sheet. So business communication includes different aspects like, of course, marketing, public relations, customer relations, corporate and interpersonal communication. Now, under communication, different vertical comes, under organizational communication, media relations, branding and marketing, then your digital platforms, websites, then your advertisements, your newspaper ads, outdoor media. Then, of course, we know that, TVCs and radio campaigns, then your internal communication and employee engagement, social media handles, as I said, then your events, exhibition, awards, senior management profiling, then investor relations, then revenue generation. At times, business development also comes under corporate communication department. So these all, in a very comprehensive way, work towards bringing the business on a pedestal, on a higher platform, and increasing the brand equity of the company. And then the company is recognized as a brand. We say that it's a brand. How does the brand become? The brand becomes by all these healthy practices in the organization, and also developing a culture for the organization. See, at times we say it's Tata culture. So why do we say this? So the company has proven its credibility, and we know the how profitable the most of the Tata enterprises are, and so are many other companies. So effective business communication, it is, I would say, that sharing process involving two or more parties for sending a message that is easily understood, because communication is always both ways. You send a message appropriately which is understood by your audience, by your target audience, and not only as audience as a whole, by each person. That should be the target, that should be the intent. So effective communication can significantly contribute to a company's success, significantly, trust me. Many people say there is a belief that corporate communication is a facilitating department, but I would say that it facilitates, it is a facilitating department, but it facilitates the growth of that business, because they know how to pitch the communication appropriately to the stakeholders. So effectiveness of communication is not defined by communication, but by the response. Because if you just go and throw your communication and it is not taken, it remains one way. So it does not yield any result. So it has to be both ways. So by the response, you know how effective your communication is. When you see the business growing exponentially, you can definitely, very proudly, any communication personnel can say that yes, communication played a major role in the business growth. So from a broader perspective, organizational communication takes three different forms, such as internal operational communication, external operational communication, and personal communication. So internal and external. Internal are definitely everything and anything to do with the employees, for whether it's your intranet, your portals, your your newsletters, your town halls, anything which can keep the company productively engaged. The posh cells to keep a very safe atmosphere in the office, mainly for the women employees. So all these give you a cushion, a comfort to the employees, so that they want to work in that particular organization more. And of course, external, we know anything and everything to do about external people, public at large, government, anyone, the industry bodies. That of course comes under external communication through your social media channels, your events and exhibitions, your your websites, your press conferences, your branding events, your awards. The discussion with government on, depending on the industry which you work. So all these, and of course, personal communication is mostly, we say, with the employees. It again comes under a subset, I can say, about of the internal communication. So organization communication is the exchange of information, ideas, and views within and outside the organization. And we say that every organization, whether business or non-business, has some specific goals and stakeholders. So every organization, depending on the business, whether it's B2C, B2B, or whether it's a startup, whatever, it has its own stakeholders. So achieving these goals depend on successful communication with the respective stakeholder groups. Therefore, communication is considered as the part and parcel of any organization. So it is a complete package, I would say, which one can really practice, enjoy, and I would say, and wait for the sweet fruit. The forms of organizational communication from a broader perspective, we say that it is definitely, it is generally all, whichever the communication is within the organization, it is either upwards, downwards, or lateral. Laterally, of course, mostly your team to team, and your colleague to colleague, and upwards it's from the employees, which it goes to the senior management, and downwards, which from the senior management it comes to the next levels, and then cascades down. So all these. So why I'm deliberating a little more on defining communication is, if we have a complete understanding, we know how it acts on the business, how it affects the business positively. It has a positive impact on the business. So the skills for business communication, as we say, that communication works for those who work at it. So it does not happen in a day or two. If someone says that he is a good communicator, definitely the person has mastered the art over the time. It does not mean that he just stood and on a platform and started speaking, or the first communication goes out from the office, a new organization, it can work wonders. But it has to be practiced, it has to be followed with certain principles. So communication works for those who work at it. So there are different verbal, non-verbal, and written communication, which Aparna also mentioned. So we say as communicators that writing is the painting of the voice. There's an art how you write, which I have spoken. It's a art, the creativity part of it. Your brevity of language, the semantics, the flow, your grasp on the language, of course, the grammar, everything. How you write. Writing communication, should not shout, especially when it's going to external audience. It has to be very professionally painted and very professionally presented, whether your presentation, so everything, to give a good image of the company. And public speaking is all about impacting others life. It's impacting, as in mostly when you are on a budget session, you are, or you're talking to the investors, or it goes to the stock market, or a press conferences. So this is again an art. But in God we trust, all others must bring in data. whatever communication, it has to be with facts and figures. So that is the beauty of it. The more you populate it logically, justifying the intent of the communication with facts and figures, if possible, it becomes really a communication which you can say it has reached the mind and heart of the person whom you are sending, your audience, and accordingly you get the result what as you targeted. So intrapersonal communication is extremely private and restricted to ourselves. Interpersonal takes place between two individuals, and one-on-one conversation at times, small group communication, and also public communication. So these are the different communication we focus on when we are into any business. So verbal communications for supervisors, there can be verbal communication for team members, verbal communication with clients, verbal communication with presenters. So these are the different aspects of verbal communication. Now I will really want to deliberate something on the non-verbal communication, because the study says that around 60 to 80% of the total communication which happens are non-verbal. So it has a very big impact. Your facial expression, the most common and telling non-verbal means of communication. Body movements, of course, or kinesics, which includes your practices like hand movements, as I'm doing now, gestures, or nodding, or postures, the way you sit, the way you look. We don't understand, as George Bernard Shaw had said, that the biggest illusion of about communication is the illusion that it has taken place. We don't even realize that we have communicated, whether positively or negatively, even when we are not speaking. Many a times we have noticed that when people say something, we frown, or we look at them brightly, or we just unknowingly we nod, or we sit very guarded, with folded hands, which means I'm not open to hearing to you. So these we don't understand, especially when there is an external communication going on. It is very important that we pay attention to it, because it means a lot, it speaks a lot. Then comes paralanguage, which is modify meaning, emotion, convey emotion. Oh no, oh disgusting, oh really. So all these things, I'm being a little dramatic, so forgive me, but it is all about communication. Expressed consciously or unconsciously, includes the pitch, volume, intonation of speech, even vocally produced sounds. All these, it comes under paralanguage. We have often seen that, heard or seen that when people speak on the phone, even I have this bad habit, I tend to speak at a high pitch at times. So many a times people have said, well, you are on the phone, you're not speaking from your balcony. So one needs to master that art. That is not a very professional way of speaking very loudly on the phone, or very high pitch how you talk. There are physiological changes also. The barriers of communication occur due to the physical condition of the sender or receiver, which might be at times due to physical disabilities also, including sensory dysfunction and other physical dysfunctions. Another very, very important thing, the last thing what I would talk about non-verbal communication, is proxemics. It is very interesting, the study of human use of space, and the effect and which affects that population density has on behavior, communication, and social interaction. We don't realize that what is the space to be maintained when we are speaking to a very in a very formal or official way, or to official customers. It is one among several subcategories in the study of non-verbal communication. And distance, as we were saying, the proxemics part. So, Edward Hall, very interestingly, he has defined the, I'm not going to too much into the science of behind it, but the distance, in meters and, inches and feet also, like intimate distance is about embracing, touching or whispering, personal distance about interaction, social distance for interactions among acquaintances, public distance used for public speaking. So, and these all he has defined with units, this, this X number of feet and X number of meters. It's very interesting. So that's all about non-verbal communication. Then coming to the written communication, well, it can be transactional, persuasive, informative, instructional, whatever. I mean, regardless of what kind of written communication you are using, it should be clearly and crisply written, especially for business communication, when you're writing a formal on a letterhead, on to government or very important stakeholders or for approval authorities. Very, very important to be crisp, clear. Even for press releases, we generally say that the first the header and the subheader to tell should speak very clearly about what is the issue about, and the first paragraph should mention everything. You should be able to read just the first paragraph and understand what the press release is all about and what is the pitch. So pitching a press release, pitching a message in any formal communication is very important for the receiver to understand and accordingly respond. So clarity, conciseness, tone and style, grammar, typo, punctuation, it should be edited thoroughly, pick and picking up the right dissemination channel. We know that there are so many channels open now, different social media handles, of course, the podcasts, the day and night where the maximum traction happens. So you should know when to send in your communication. That is also very important and very interesting. So these things are very important. So writing skills, your presentation and public speaking skills, research and critical thinking, very important. Technical skills, communicating with data, listening, very, very important. As I said, now I know, as it is said, that we speak and we don't listen. We speak to reply but not to listen. That is very important about listening. And also visual communication is very, very important. So how to be a skillful communicator. So clear communication ensures the receiver understands the intended message. In order to avoid the confusion of the communication, these two things are important. The sender's idea is clearly received by the audience. The communication provides just what the receiver needs to know, not too much and not too little, just the right thing. As when we cook, we say just the right salt, just the right spice, just the right sweetness. So that is all about a very good food, a good dish, and a good communication. Positive, negative, and persuasive messages. The main difference between positive and negative messages is positive message has the feeling of optimism. When you read something, you feel it's a positive message, and lack thereof is a negative message. So a negative message is basically when you regret something, when you cancel a deal, when you cancel a merger, a negotiation, or you tell God forbid, an employee that you cannot continue with his service anymore. So these sort of things, or a very maybe a condolence. So these type of messages are negative message. Both these types of messages serve one common purpose: to disseminate information, that is ultimate motive, and encourage the understanding and acceptance of that information. So skillful information is, again, not that there's no finality in the positive message and no hope in the negative. It's not that positive message means that, oh, okay, everything, the deal is cracked already. No, maybe there's an indication. Neither if I say that I will look into it, I may think over it, doesn't mean the deal is not cracked. So it is not that way a negative message, but it's the limitation of the type of messages. The implication decision is in the positive message is one of opportunity. The negative message, on the other hand, conveys a feeling of decisiveness. So, you feel, okay, so a decision is being taken. So the decision has been made and this is final, more or less you get an idea. And these all, how you pitch is the art of pitching a conversation in a way. So what was an opportunity no longer existing. So that also comes out from the message. The negative message also delivers the information in a very professional manner. It has to be, even if you're saying something unpleasant, it has to be a very professional manner, not like how you're talking to your friends, or the same way as you feel that you can convey the message. No, that is business communication style, not divulging too much or too little information. Both this type of messages serve again one common purpose, that the information is disseminated and encourage an understanding and acceptance of the information. Again, positive message are quite easy to write, to be very honest, because it's human psychology. When you write something positive, you become more eloquent, you become a little guarded when you're giving an unpleasant message. So it becomes quite easy to write and helpful and useful. So these type of messages make one feel like an effective employee by providing the necessary information and details to your customers, whoever your audience and customers are, people who are outside the organization. The courteous tone is very important of this type of message. It works very well when the tone is professional. The message is more effective, and it is very easier to read and faster in processing. Maybe when you're sending something, the receiver processes it very fast because it's very lucid and very simple. It's very professional, and it's it does not mince with mincing words, and that way it's very clear. So when you have an occupation that is highly technical, especially, it is extremely important to clarify the message language in the message as much as possible. It is very important. Some customers, it depends on the business, or fellow employees may need that little extra clarification that should always be kept in mind, because maybe my capacity or power of understanding is much lesser to yours. So you have to keep in mind, because you have not studied the psyche of the receiver or the audience. So you have to be very politically correct and very particular and very professional. So these type of messages more of a has a direct approach. So rejection and negative messages are never very pleasant to hear. So they're merely tools used to convey some sort of ideas also at times, whether the purpose is to deliver news which is a little critical or otherwise. So we have to be very careful how we are sending, how we are pitching even a negative news. And then comes the persuasive messages. This encourages a change in attitude, beliefs, or practices on a given topic, or even a set of topics, how it is perceived. So both positive and negative messages can be written in a persuasively. So you have to be very persuasive about writing. So when the letter or the formal communication or any forms of even collateral, it becomes very persuasive. It can be either from the negative or the positive communication, that it can often help them to become more effective. So effectiveness is what we are looking at, and it's all about effective communication. So a positive message written persuasively can encourage cooperation or responsiveness, and a negative message written persuasively can encourage a change in the scenario, behavior, or even the performance. And what I'm saying, it's a science behind it. It's well researched, and not only by me, but who are communication experts. So the main difference is that the goal of a persuasive message is to persuade, and which is not necessarily true for positive and negative messages. So the same process as it can follow, they require similar amount of attention to detail also. It depends on your audience in the planning and revision process. So it see how it is impacting the revision process also. So it's often focused on especially closing a deal, because you become more persuasive then when you want to crack a deal or close a deal, or you get a good prospective client with whom you want to take on board, or even when you're negotiating on a recruitment. So all these are very persuasive messages. They're uniquely suited for social media and internal uses. So what basically, when we send out messages through social media, now it is we cannot do without social media almost, especially for B2C businesses. So there comes the art of persuasive messaging. So getting the right message across in the right way, which is very important. Sometimes communication keeps the sender thinking about what she needed to know. Yeah, I'm sure many a times we have read the entire message, and then we feel that actually what is it trying to say? You may have a feeling at times. So there comes the art that how you have to be crisp and clear. So many corporate presentations keep one blank. I'm sorry, maybe my understanding is not very really too intelligent, but many corporate presentation, at the end of it, I forget the first few slides, and often I really think that what it was about and what I'm supposed to do from this presentation or understand from it. I'm sorry, it's my problem maybe. So perhaps you've even delivered communication yourself and realized in retrospect that you really hadn't got the measure of your audience that they needed it to be. So it again becomes one way. We really don't know what exactly is happening. So this is very frustrating. At times, a huge turn off that it can have a negative effect. Your whole day goes wrong, or even produce an effect that is exact, opposite to one which you had wanted. So whether you need to communicate general day-to-day information, or the big news about some major changes in the organization, the best communication start with some good planning. It is very, very important. So the first step is to put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Very important. And that is how you can pitch your communication well and appropriately. What do they need to know? What do they know already? You have to make a little study, a survey of your audience. This is very important when you're pitching a communication. You should know your audience. You should know your customer. And what would they want to hear from you? Very important. Very effective and good communicators, trust me, they will tell you what you want to hear, and they get their work done. What is their preferred way of receiving information, whether they would like a presentation or just a talk like this, or through tvcs or through hoardings, any means of communication. What will stop them from listening to what you have to say? That is also important to know. You should know your audience basically very well. So how you will know that they have got the message? Feedback mechanism is also very important. This is more to do with good communication than just presentation. That is very important. A very focused approach. So marketing your message is very important. So good communication is very much like good marketing. You have a message, like it's a product mainly for B2C businesses, that you need to sell to your audience. You have to see it in that way. So if they're going to buy that product, buy in, your work is done. You must package the message so that they understand and they pay attention to it, which means they buy you. They, at times, many a times we say, I don't buy what you're saying. It is exactly that what I mean. So you must make sure the value and benefit outweigh any downsides. And we must reach the audience through the right communication channels. And following the communication promotion, we must be able to measure the effectiveness of the message, which is very, very important. Now, communication planning can also be done through some tools. We can record your plan on a communication planning worksheet. If you really want to go in a very strategic way, we can use some certain tools, understanding the objectives, like be clear about your over communication objective and accordingly plan it. Who your audience, communication objectives, messages, channel, timing. So this sort of graph you can make, and you can maintain a table. So understanding your audience is important, as I said. So identify and list out the different audiences. This can initially seem quite difficult, because but the simplest communication plan is good to use stakeholder analysis to maybe to help you to do this, but this will help you in the long run. So stakeholder analysis helps you to identify who to communicate with and why. Then the audience group comes. Think of audience, I'm just elaborating a little bit. Think of audiences as groups, that you need to communicate with. And the beauty of it is, any one person may be a member of that several audience. That is very important. How you should, see, I'm breaking down this audiencing and understanding your audience. And a communication plan should be designed keeping this in mind. So any one person can be a member of several audiences. Suppose each and every audience which is here today represents one group, one company. So my communication is reaching, maybe some of you may carry forward your communication, this communication ahead. So this is how it translates and moves forward. So whether it's your investors, public, mix of some, whatever it is. So that is very important. Then step 3 can be, drilling down into your communication objectives and clarify specific objectives for each audience. A good way to do this, when you think about the audience's need, that what do they need, especially for consumer market, they do it. They first do a consumer study. What is the need? What do housewives perception of buying a product? Trust me, there is a difference between a housemaker's perception of buying a product than a working women's mindset of buying a particular product. Like, I mean, a product, as in, I'm saying, suppose I, as a homemaker, wants to buy a particular brand of oil. Maybe you, as a working woman, would think of buying another brand of oil, maybe mustard oil or sunflower oil, but different brands. And that also is a consumer, what to say, research which people do, and then they launch it into the market. What is the maximum consumption, which is the area where this product will go, which is the market segmenting, how it is done, and accordingly they pitch the communication through different ads or other mediums of communication for them to buy. So plan communication messages and channels. This is very important. Once you have clarified your objectives and got a full understanding of the different audiences, you need to communicate with it, plan, and then as I said, the different verticals which comes to meet your objective, and accordingly you pitch your message, which is delivered, which you ensure that it is delivered. So before starting on the detail of your plan, it's better that we jot down all the possible communication channels we can use, which is whatever it is, think broadly, creatively. What will the consumer take? What will be the intake? So whether it's when it's your internal communication, some more I'm sorry, this is little internal, but we have seen that the news letters which we send in our office have more takers than the intranet. So here you see that, okay, so accordingly you need to see how to spruce up your intranet portals and see how interesting you can make it so people consume that as well. So similarly, whether it's a senior management briefing, collaterals, your team meetings, I mean, for internal customers, I'm saying, and of course for external communication, the channels which you use. So remember to use the existing channel also. As I said earlier, that big corporate news often gets announced at big corporate events, but we forget to send it to our brand ambassadors who are our employees. They come to know, they get to know, they read it from the news which comes out in the paper the next day. It's definitely not a healthy practice. The employees should know about it, because they are the person who are impacting your business growth. So that mode of communication, pitching it rightly to the employees, is very, 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 very important. So to plan out the message, as you consider each audience, you need to do it. Then the markets survey, as we do, so we do employee, for internal customers we do employee satisfaction survey also. There also, of course, as an employee, at times people feel little guarded that their name might come out, but the every organization needs to give that comfort level through the softwares, that names will not come out and you can be very free to give your feedback. So that gives a very healthy two-way communication. You understand your employees and the employee also understands you. So one tip is to compare your communication planning with marketing. They say, one say that in marketing, that the prospect needs to see your message 7 times before they buy. So while this may be over precise, your audience may need to read your message many times before it gets sunk in, it sinks in you, and then you respond, or then you maybe you agree to the proposal, or agree to the calculation, or agree to the total plan, and then you can make a deal. So another very important thing is here is monitoring the effectiveness. So it's good to get feedback of the communicators that you have planned and implemented. Never feel shy to get negative feedback. It is very important. One of the most important thing to improve your pitch of communication in a business is you study the negative feedback even more seriously than the positive feedback. So when I used to work for airport, we used to call it triple C, comments, complaints, and compliments. So this 3C is very important for any business to practice, I would say, or know about from the customers. The 3Cs, comments, complaints, and compliments. So by getting timely feedback, you can tune any for future communication that you have planned to make before meeting the people, or to just fill in the gaps. So you strangely should be driven by understanding that what you're trying to accomplish in the long run, which is very important. Don't always see a short time strategy. Mostly it should be a long time planning, what your organization is aiming at. So you need to communicate frequently or at right intervals as decided. It again depends on that particular project or your plan. You should use more often, maybe newsletter format or emails, calls. Another very important thing I must mention about emailers are emails should not shout. Many senior people write mails to their subordinates or team members. I have experienced it myself, with all caps and 2-3 question marks with 3 exclamation. I really don't know what it signifies. Maybe the person wants to shout at the top of his or her voice to the employees, which they cannot. So that is the way they write. So the moment you get that email, the poor fellow is so petrified, intimidated, that even if he could have been more productive, he retracts, feeling, oh my God, I hope it won't be a mistake. Did I do a mistake? So the productivity goes low for a business. So it is very important that how professionally you communicate over a mail. So some organizations, they spend more time on segmentation and building a logical flow of communication. That helps in responding to each segment. And the surest way to get someone to give again is to give them information, transparency, clarity, what they need to know and achieve for future support. So the moment you feel, the employee feels that the person is wanted by the management, they perform more, the productivity goes more, and that can only come through right pitching of communication. Either way, a well crafted message should ensure the highest click through and the conversation rates. There are many softwares which can make our find out the hits of the pages. So basically we say the 4 P's: that product, place, price, and promotion. In short, your message should be very, very clearly conveyed. So a clear description of the purpose is very, very important. Then obviously place to take action. Where and how does your organization let people participate? It is very important. Then the price of participation important. When should and can the audience respond? You should know, you should have that prudence to understand that this is the time when this my stakeholder can respond, and this is the way the stakeholder can respond, and accordingly. And these all should be thought before you are sending the communication. And another beautiful way which it is recommended is, when you're sending a communication, go to the other side of the table. Go become an audience, be an audience, and question yourself if possible on each and every line, each and every sentence. So if you practice this, it will definitely be, when you're sending the proposal, it will be well cushioned, well covered, and you will be prepared, crisis ready. Whatever comes to you, accordingly you can respond to those queries. Mainly when auditing and all that things happens, or a government query comes, you should have that prudence, judiciousness to understand how a communication should be pitched in, so that your work, the next step, becomes easier. This is very important, because see, customers are comfortable online and needs information. So it is very, very important. Email organizations send more relevant information more frequently, and it is better cost effective also, and measurable also. So using message mediums effectively is important. Revisiting the strategic plan, and accordingly identifying areas where you need to improve on your communication. So when you should you should know when exactly maybe the senior management should disseminate the information, and that, of course, the communication department has a very big role to play on that. So keep content short and to the point. Use bullet lists for improve scannability. Use stories and first hand accounts, maybe with photos and well researched case studies. Keep paragraphs short. Then maybe with statistics, data, testimonials. Then action oriented language is very important. It's not a letter which you're writing to your family or friends or even acquaintance, but it's a formal letter for business dealing. It is very important. Repeat the call to action at times. Many people don't activate it. So monitor your deliverability, click the conversations and all. So keep an eye basically on the way the policy is changing, the way the environment is working. Accordingly you pitch your communication. And what not to say is very, very important than what to say in the business of communication. It is very important. The effectiveness of your communication can have many different effects on your life. Trust me, whether it's your personal life or professional life. It is the level of stress, relationship breaking or making, level of satisfaction in your own life, productivity, ability to meet your goals, mood management. आज मूड खराब है, दिया मेरा टीम मेंबर को, हो गया, नेक्स्ट 2 दिन तक तो वो बेचारा काम ही नहीं कर पाएगा. So it is very important to mood management in a corporate. And if you see very senior business leaders, when they talk to public, when they talk to press. Sometimes press makes the life miserable, but they keep their calm and they respond. So that is the art and experience, ability to solve problems. So it can be communication. There are factors which we need to consider. We all say, generally we study, that is a method, mass and audience. So these three things we should keep in mind: method, mass and audiences, and nuances of communication for effective leadership, because ultimately each and every person should own the business and aspire to be leaders. I'm sure everyone wants to grow up in the corporate ladder. So effectiveness of communication is not defined by communication, but by the response, which I said earlier. So mind the say-do gap. Very important. Your behavior is the single greatest mode. Then make the complex simple. Even complex things you can be very lucid and say. Find your own voice. Use language that's distinctly your own. Very important. Be visible, especially during crisis. Senior management leadership visibility is very important, because that is the time when they pitch their communication to the public at large about whatever disaster has happened, but showing that we are there and we will get back. So visibility is important. Listen with your eyes as well as your ears, and be a storyteller. Storyteller is, we have seen that most of the places nowadays storytelling mode has been introduced to build up the credibility around. So your communication is should be hot, honest, open and two-way. So you walk the talk. You reach with you're mindful of your body language. You practice empathy face to face as much as possible during crisis. Leave judgments and biases at home. Balance talking and listening, and of course both individually and within the team. And of course you listen to the stakeholders. So basically assertiveness through crisp communication always should be very assertive, not aggressive. This is something again we very promote as communication, or we learn as communicators, that it should be assertive but not aggressive. This is very very important. And getting your ideas across is very very important. I will close with this. We can have brilliant ideas, but if you cannot get them across, your business cannot grow. The ideas won't get you anywhere. Pitching of right communication gets issues resolved, and you can you can get there with your business to grow higher and be there in the market. Make yourself as a brand. So communication has a perception of being very simple, and communication is often mistaken as just it's an aid, helping hand. You just say what you feel and it's straightened out, but it is unfortunately not. Why actual meaning of communication is lost in the interpretation and translation. This is what we have to be very particular about, and what we say can be misunderstood, and it can cause tension and chaos, and it can break the entire business deal. We have to be very very strategic, and be within the framework of the vision and mission of the company broadly, and of course according to the immediate need. It can be customers. Many people say that we have gone out of the box and done something, but still we did not get result. You need to go out of the box with your ideas, but you have to definitely be in the target. You have to know the target of the company and be in within the framework of the mission and vision of the company. So with the power of communication to boost your work environment, employees, and most likely to decrease their productivity levels, you need good communication. To improve their productivity level, you need effective communication. It makes a brand and helps sustain it, because when you pitch a right communication and you make it a brand, the next step should be consistent communication, positive communication, and right communication pitch to sustain the overall perception and the brand. So communication should be creative yet relevant, with structured strategies, defined goals, engineering of concept, and finally a precise art form it is of beautiful scientific procedures resulting into one common objective, an effective communication process where it is pitched right, an integral part of the business, and the pitching definitely accelerates your business growth. Thank you.
That was awesome, Anandita. An amazing session. As you said in the beginning, communication is really a blend of art and science. And as you
Thank
said,
you.
secret of working miracles. And I totally agree. Our team members are the brand ambassadors of our organizations, and it is very important that we both speak the same language. And I'm sure the tips you have given were very useful for the audience. Our audience would have really learned a lot from this session. And right, and verbal and not non-verbal communication also matters a lot. And these days, I think not replying to a message or email also communicates a lot about our, how serious we are about our business and relationships.
Absolutely.
And being a listener and listening to understand is also very, very important. And the 3 C's, comments, complaints, and compliments, is a great tip which we can use in family relations also, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Communication starts right from the time you open your eyes in the morning till the time you go to bed. You first communicate with yourself, then you go out, you communicate with your family members, then your domestic helps, your cab drivers, your colleagues, then whoever, your friends, acquaintance, the restaurant person, and back home, anything. So communication is from the time you open your eyes in the morning till the time you go to bed.
Right. And I think that was really an eye-opening session. And I think the session on communication was really communicated what was supposed to be communicated, right? And a request to our audience, if you like the session, please go to GCPIT's FB page and post a positive feedback there. And now let's open the session for questions. Dear friends, please unmute yourselves. I think we have taken 1 hour. Thank you so much, Anandita, for that. And please and ask questions. I think few questions are there in the chat.
Sure. Please, sure.
Yeah, how do you manage the protocol of corporate communication from Pradyut?
So protocol of communication, corporate communication is, as I said, that there are different verticals. So we need to see what is that we need to communicate, whether it's a branding communication or it's a media communication, or it's an internal stakeholder communication to the employees or to investor relations or in the social media. So each has its own do's and don'ts, and I think it's maybe one day I can take a different session only on corporate communication where I can elaborate very well how media relation works, how industry working with industry bodies work, how working with government work, how corporate affairs and corporate relation are different, how your branding communication and marketing communication is different. So each has its own individual protocol, which it's again a study which I think helps you in working at a corporate and see to it that all the verticals are addressed in the appropriate way.
So Cinda, I hope we have answered the question. And any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So do we have any other questions? I wanted to ask you something. You said our communication has to be crisis ready, right? I would like to know a little more about that. I know that you have handled a lot of crisis situations, especially the Mumbai floods and all you were mentioning last time. So how to be crisis? I know the time is up, but still.
No, it's okay. How to be crisis ready?
Yeah. How do we prepare ourselves to be like the organizations? How do we prepare?
I'll tell you something. The most important thing, thing to do is to work on your business continuity, which means that each and every employee in the organization should think on the same page when it comes to the corporate policies and corporate the mission and vision of the company and what business in fact there's a study by KPMG on business continuity which says that suppose we three are employees, you, Santosh, and me. So God forbid anything happens to me, my particular portfolio you can take over. For me, honestly, I always encourage a cross functional working within my team, and in any organization it is always better that cross functional work culture is there, so that any time of crisis anyone can take over a particular role. Yes, there are expertise, like if I am asked to take immediately the finance role, I cannot, but as much as possible someone can hold the fort for some time. Another thing is building your credibility and community through social media channels. Use it judiciously and build up that credibility. So once you're a brand, God forbid any thing happens, you feel that okay, as a public you feel that no, okay, the crisis happened, they went wrong, but they are a credible brand, they are a brand, so they will definitely get over it. So this is all about being crisis ready. Trust me, working in 3 major airports, no matter how many times we did those mock drills on crisis, when the actual crisis comes, you need to customize the manual. Every organization, you have operational manual, we have corporate communication manual, but definitely you take it as a framework, but when the crisis happens, you need to customize. But if you want to establish yourself as a brand, that even if in adverse situation your credibility doesn't go down, you have to work towards on it over the period of time. It cannot happen on one day.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Any other questions?
Maybe I know the time we've
No,
exceeded.
it's
Maybe
okay.
just
I'll give you one or two small examples on crisis communication. There was, once there was one Virgin Atlantic air crash. So Richard Branson, the promoter, he was away. Some in other continent, on holiday. So his airline crashed. If he wanted, he could have done all the releases and everything from there, but he flew down. He flew down all the way to that country of that accident, of that crash, and he apologized in public, saying that we sincerely regret this has happened, we are going to probe, and of course the compensation part. So see, the visibility, the face of the senior leader during crisis is very important. Another example I'll give you, once in US, Pepsi, someone just said that from a Pepsi can we got some nails or some iron particles. So if they wanted, they could have denied it or do anything of that sort. What they did instead, that's a way how they dealt with the crisis. They completely prepared videos of the entire production is being made to prove that it cannot happen, it is completely tamper proof. So and of course then the probe happened, and it was found out it was some bad unethical business practice, someone else maligning their brand. But then this, instead of denying what they were how they dealt with the crisis, they showed the video that how the entire production happened from the scratch to the point when the cancer being sent to the retail, that how tamper proof it is. So there are different types, people. There was one medicine by Johnson and Johnson, I think in UK or somewhere, where suddenly people, someone said that they reported sick by having that, I think Tylenol, and in foreign countries very limited number of medicines are sold over the counter. So they suddenly reported that Johnson and Johnson, what they did, they immediately, before issuing anything, they pulled all the product from the market, each and every product, and told everyone that if you're having a stock, please don't consume it till we do a probe and give you a go ahead. And it cost them a bomb. but they dealt it. They dealt their crisis that way. Of course, it was proven for some other reason. It could not have been that reason that why consuming Tylenol it happened. But then they dealt with that. They did not think of their profit at that particular time. Neither they denied that no, it cannot happen, but they immediately pulled everything from the market, and then they worked towards it, and then people become convinced. So there are different ways of dealing with your crisis. It's very interesting subject. Once there was a this American Red Cross Society. So one of their members, what they did, instead of doing they wanted to have a beer, and that I think it's dogfish head beer, something, I'm forgetting the name. So instead of mistakenly, instead of his own handle, by mistake tweeted on American Red Cross handle, being an employee, that getting slizzard, the keys not got the keys and getting slizzard hashtag, and it was a huge uproar. Just imagine American Red Cross Society tweet coming out like that. So what did the Red Cross do? They could have immediately chucked the employees that we have suspended the employees, we have asked him to leave and all that. Instead, they took a humorous way. What they did is they immediately tweeted back saying that the keys are confiscated, and be rest assured that American Red Cross Society is still sober. And they of course said it was by mistake. Now what happened, just imagine that particular brand of beer, they took this, they partnered with American Red Cross Society, and they said each and every person who uses this hashtag getting slizzard and buy this dogfish head beer, a part of it will go as a donation to American Red Cross Society, and huge sale happened. So they completely turned that communication crisis, and with a proper communication, the employee was retained because they said we apologize, but to err is human. So there are different ways how you communicate, and but most important, as you said, crisis is first you have to establish yourself as a credible brand. Then in time of crisis, people believe you.
I think that was awesome. That was a really interesting examples in the US, Mr. PK Sindasen. Thank you so much. I think, any other questions? I think we'll wind up now. Thank you so much, Nandita. That was an amazing session. I know you are going through a little tough time at home, but still, I'm so grateful you joined us today. And on behalf of GCPIT, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me once again. GCPI, you'll rock, and Santosh and you, what do I say? I mean, the energy, I don't know from where you get that energy. Maybe when things get normalized, I'll buy some from you.
That was a compliment. Actually, we are doing something for the society. That was the energy we are, I don't know, God is giving us the energy for that. And thank all the audience for joining us today. If you want to connect to Anindita, you can go to our website, gcpit.org, and we have an option to connect to her through email. And if you feel you are an exceptional leader and you want to join us in our mission, please contact us at gcpit.org again. See you all tomorrow. Till then, this is Aparna G. Kumar signing off. Stay safe and take care. Anindita, would you like to add?
No. Thank you so much, GCPIT, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Lovely speaking to you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Good night. Stay safe and take care.